You are listening to In Conversation with Jennie and Mark.
Hello and welcome everyone. We are back from holiday. I am the Reverend Jenny.
Sorry, carry on.
I'm the Reverend Jenny Adams from Holy Trinity Church in South Kensington. And you
And
are?
I am the Reverend Mark Adams from St Margaret's Church, Barking. And I suppose actually in a way it was a yay for, we've been on holiday rather than a yay for, oh, it's great to be back, isn't it though? We're loving it.
We're still in first gear, aren't we?
Yeah, we're definitely still in first gear. There's definitely quite a few gears to go yet. But anyway, we're here, we're recording again.
And we're preparing for Sunday, so all is well.
Which usually is when you have to get up a few gears before we get to Sunday. So anyway, but we're good to be back and good to be here again.
So let's have this reading. Come on,
Let's have the reading. Let's crack on. So this is the gospel reading set for this Sunday. And it is from Luke chapter 12, verses 13 to 21. Someone in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the family inheritance with me." But he said to him, "Friend, who set me to be a judge or arbitrator over you?" And he said to them, "Take care, be on your guard against all kinds of greed, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of possessions." Then he told them a parable. The land of a rich man produced abundantly, and he thought to himself, "What should I do? For I have no place to store my crops." Then he said, "I will do this. I will pull down my barns and build larger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods. And I will say to my soul, 'Soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, be merry.' But God said to him, 'You fool, this very night your life is being demanded of you, and the things you have prepared, whose will they be?' So it is with those who store up treasures for themselves, but are not rich towards God." So nice, easy message then. Great, no problem with this one. It is actually pretty obvious what it's saying. It's not
Yeah.
really trying to understand it. It's really the application, isn't it?
Can't take it with you when you die. Simple as
Can't
that.
take it with you when you die. That is definitely partly what Jesus is saying. But I think I want to go back to the beginning, actually.
I was going to say, go on, let's start with the actual man.
Let's start with the man in the crowd. Yeah, because, it's easy to jump into the parable and there's lots of interesting things to say about it. But the man in the crowd, he wants Jesus to sort of sort out his family dispute, doesn't he?
How bad must the family dispute be that in a crowd, with Jesus giving all this teaching, you think that your family inheritance dispute is the key thing we need to be talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. There's kind of like, but I suppose it's also them seeing Jesus as a sort of moral authority, um, sort it out, help me sort it out, presumably, yeah, tell my brother what to do. What I think is fascinating is that Jesus just does not want to and does not get involved, but instead uses an opportunity to say something different, doesn't he?
Yes. I don't know that that's fascinating in as much as that's just very wise and probably quite obvious, being the son of God and all that. I mean, if he'd sorted that one out, imagine what it would have been like. But I suppose what I'm fascinated by is the fact that he thought it was a good idea to ask. And I wonder what we might think is a good idea to ask that really isn't. Are there things?
It's just some sort of suggestion that, you've got to sort this out for yourself then. I mean, there's people that sort of pray. Well, I don't know whether anyone actually does this, but there's sorts of apocryphal stories out there. Lord, which socks did I put on this morning? Is that the sort of thing?
I definitely been to a toddler group where they prayed which way to set the chairs out in the morning. Because I was there, it was before I actually started going to church, but I was there early because I was straight from school. And they would pray that in their little group prayers. And I was just amazed.
Okay.
So
do you think this is like, suggesting that we shouldn't be praying those sort of things, or what's the?
It's a hard line, isn't it? Because we teach that, Jesus cares about every detail of your life. He knows every hair on your head.
Hmm.
But the other part of me just goes, they're chairs, just put them out. There are only two ways they can go. It doesn't make any difference to those of us who are crawling around the floor. It's just
I think there is some real wisdom about this sort of Jesus' response here, about not getting involved in other people's disputes. Um, and
yeah.
I think there is something about I think I read the Rule of Benedict earlier this year because I was fascinated by it, and I think there's something about that here, which he draws from this. Don't get when you're living in community together, don't get involved in
Hmm.
other people's disputes. Let them sort it out. You don't have to get. If you get involved, you're just going to make it worse. And I think, though I'd have to go back and check, that he references this exchange
Okay.
similar to
And
it.
and in many ways, I'm coming to the same conclusion from a different point. It's like, why is he asking Jesus to get involved in this dispute?
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
just sort it out. It's just,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
But there's some real practicals because we can be quick to get involved in other people's disputes, can't we? And other
oh
people's.
yeah, because I always know better. So
Well,
obviously,
obviously. I mean, you would, wouldn't you?
you just need to do this.
You'd have just said to the, yeah, okay, brother, sort it out, share it with him. But you don't know, do you? So anyway,
Well,
Jesus
I
uses
would
this.
probably have said, "Why are you telling me?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, in a sense, I suppose that's what Jesus does says. Why are you telling me? Why are you wanting to involve me now? I'm not.
Yeah.
Uh, But Jesus uses this little exchange then for an opportunity for teaching, doesn't he? About, what is a very, I mean, I actually think, is one of the kind of most significant verses for our lives that Jesus says, take care, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of possessions. Well, what do we say about that? I mean,
Um, no, I think that's true. Um,
well, I think it's true. I think it's just hard to live by. I'm not denying that it's true.
yeah, it's strange, isn't it? The more you have, the more you want, definitely. So having had very little, I put, when you can't afford possessions, you put very little store by them. If it's not going to be an option, it's not really that difficult to live by. It's one of those, it's
Hmm.
not what defines you. Um, oh no, I'll come back to that though, because having said that, that was for me, but not necessarily for everyone else. Um, but the more you have, the more you want, and the easier it is to just kind of get it, then it's difficult to kind of think, I don't really need it.
Hmm.
Thinking out loud here very slowly.
Well, I mean, I've certainly always been someone who does like my stuff. I mean, it's true. Well, I mean, it's different stuff for
Yeah,
different people like different sorts of stuff, but I quite like, I
you
like
do like your stuff.
my stuff.
It was noticed by my family very early on, actually, that you like your stuff. Um, but I can't say that I don't now. Um, Whereas I suppose there was always a reverse pride as well. So everything in our house was given to us, and that was quite nice. Um,
Right.
so there's a different thing. But we still had stuff, of course.
Hmm.
I think the biggest thing we notice is when we try and go camping and we
Which,
try and take no stuff. And how well does that go?
well, I think we still took quite a lot of stuff with us. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
I
Trying to take
had a
very
carload of
little
stuff,
stuff to go camping
had a
is
bootload of stuff, definitely.
and
I
I
mean,
look at the people
it's
that can
the
carry it on their back and just go, wow.
yeah. I mean, I think that Jesus uses this as an opportunity for teaching, doesn't he? This thing about the abundance of possessions. I think what you're saying there is, the more you have, the more you want. That's true. and don't think that that's what the most important thing in your life is about. I suppose, in a sense, what he's saying to our our man in the crowd is, don't worry. Is he saying the relationship with your brother is more important than the amount of money you've got or the amount of possessions you have?
Yes. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
That's what. Oh, well, thank you for agreeing with me. I mean, I suppose, relationships really matter, don't they? They are
Well,
more
I
than
would
stuff.
suggest that he's saying that everything matters more than stuff. But in this case, the relationship, yes.
Yeah. So don't put arguing over money in terms of in front of your relationship with your brother. Well, this is all very topical, isn't it? I mean, we haven't moved on. I mean, I think one of the things about that phrase, that your life does not consist of the amounts of your possessions, is that, it's just as appropriate today and important for us to hear today as it was in Jesus' time, if not more so, because we are more
No,
material, more storing up the stuff for ourselves, more than even they were. If they were like that now, what does Jesus want to say to us today? I think is an interesting question for me.
stop building bigger barns. Yes. No, there are. I mean, there are endless disputes. We do funerals. We know that families are in dispute. We have
Yeah.
families. We can foresee what's going to happen. So yes, it's yeah, I think it's very relevant, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And so we come to the parable then, don't we? So we've got the parable, the man, he's
Mm.
it's the sort of epitome of sort of self-satisfied. I've done this all myself. Good on me, you know, without any acknowledgement, I guess, that the good things that he has come from God, and that he has some sort of responsibility towards what he does with them. He just wants to store them up.
Yeah, he just wants to store them for himself. There's no sharing. There's
Oh.
no helping others. There's just he's retired early and he gets to eat, drink, and be merry. Um,
Which again, I guess that's where that phrase comes from, isn't it? That's where it's entered our.
yeah, absolutely. It's just that
Yeah.
I can pinpoint other people that have done that. So, yeah, whereas I'll be
So
working
what
till I'm 70.
so what is the appropriate view we should have from this parable then of our stuff, of our money, of our, you
I
know.
would say there's a fine line between good stewardship and building bigger barns. It is one of those, because actually to just kind of fritter it all away is not always appropriate, is it? Just to give it all away is not always appropriate. It's a
Yeah.
fine line between those two things. Um, but I think we should always be generous and have generous hearts. Um, and stuff isn't everything.
Yeah.
And money isn't everything.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then it's quite difficult for me because it doesn't really mean that much to me. So I find this quite simple in many ways. But then I don't want to say I've got it all sorted, but you know what I mean? I can't ever imagine having an argument over the inheritance. I just take it. It's not worth it. It's one of
Right.
those. Um,
Yeah.
I like my little day-to-day stuff, and maybe I need to try and find a way to incorporate it into that. But this kind of big parable and problem, I just, yeah, it's not me.
Yeah. So I suppose in one sense, Jesus is giving this response to he's using this parable as a response to the man who's asking the question, isn't it?
Mm.
And don't think that, even if you divide the inheritance with your brother, that's not the most important thing. Getting this is not the most important thing. So then what is the most important thing? It's sort of opening up that question, isn't it, for us? Don't think that building bigger barns and storing it all up, because at the end, you might not have it tomorrow. I mean, that's what he's saying, isn't it? You might be gone, and then
I'll be
and then
there.
who's it be? Where will it go? What will all? be all that before. So what are the more important things in life?
Yeah, you see, there is a problem with that, isn't there? Because where will it go? Well, it will go to your descendants.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons many people are storing this stuff up. So it does go to their descendants. So it's quite a difficult thing to preach on, because actually there's the answer straight away. Well, it will go to my children, and I want my children to have a better life.
And yet they're arguing about inheritance, aren't they? So go back to the start again. Well, the argument is about inheritance. That's what they're arguing about. So, you know, are you actually, in one sense, storing up problems for because they're all falling out all over it? I mean, is that part of what Jesus is saying? Yeah, I don't know. It's yes, that is an answer. That is an answer, but it's also saying that's not going to be once again, it comes back. That's not the most important thing, is it?
No.
Even leaving it to your children is not the most important thing, because, you know, if that's what you want your life to be about, then, you know, it doesn't consist of the abundance of your possessions. So what does it consist of? I suppose is the.
But that's when it becomes a much more difficult message, isn't it? Because I don't think most people that we know are storing it up for themselves, really. They're storing it up for their descendants. Yes. But it's not all about them. It's about Jesus.
Well, yeah, that's true, Jenny.
And that's how I'm going to say it on Sunday morning.
That's what you're going to say. Yeah, fair enough. Well, okay. So, yeah, it's still highly relevant, isn't it? There's a lot for us to take from here, and I think a lot for us to reflect on in our own lives. And I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's. I think you need wisdom about these things, but Jesus is offering us a different perspective here, isn't he? Which he then goes on to say about not worrying, isn't he? Because actually these can just provoke a lot of anxiety. So, you know, how do we have an appropriate relationship with money and possessions? I think that's one of the biggest challenges that I've always felt about being a Christian, really. Still not sure I've got it sorted out.
Well, none of us have got it all sorted out. We live in the West. We must
Yeah.
Makes the world go round for us.
And you know, I just think it's, you know, one's life does not consist of the abundance of possessions. That's still more relevant today, even more important for us to hear today than perhaps it was even in Jesus's time. And then we've got to work out what that means and how we live it.
I know. Poor Amazon man will be out of a job.
And on that note, I suspect it's probably time for us to draw things to a close. So thanks for listening, and we will look forward to be back again next week.
And if you're preaching on Sunday, good luck. You can ruminate on that a little bit further.
Take care then.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to In Conversation with Jennie and Mark. Please subscribe for more episodes on all the usual podcast platforms.